You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
Hello and welcome to Business Access TV's coverage of the Things TT Marketplace. We are at the UWI St. Augustine campus in Port of Spain, Trinidad. We have a full show for you, so let's get started. We've now caught up with Risa Lessie. She is the founder of Things TT. Risa, welcome to Business Access TV.
Thank you.
All right, tell us a little bit about Things TT.
Things TT is a Trinidadian initiative to give local entrepreneurs and producers a space to come and sell their product as well as to gain access to new and potential customers. So a lot of the products here are actually locally made. Some of them are handmade, some of them are manufactured locally, some of them are designed specifically for our market. So this is a space where they all gather to sell and kind of promote themselves.
How important is a market like this to the overall development of entrepreneurship in Trinidad and Tobago?
I think it's very, very important because small business in Trinidad and Tobago, while there are certain public sector initiatives and even private sector, it's really dedicated to small business of a certain level. So a lot of these persons who are here are very involved in their business. So there may be a one-man show or two-person show. So having them in a space like this gives them the opportunity to grow and develop, learn selling skills, learn their own marketing skills, decide among themselves how exactly they want to position their branding and, you know, project their growth. So I think it's very important.
The country is in a recession. Do you think Things TT is now coming at an opportune time and providing opportunities for entrepreneurs?
I would like to think so. Aside from the actual physical market, I've launched the online store, which is a more affordable medium for vendors and a more recent, because the market takes place 4 times a year and the online store is 24/7 every day, every month. So I think it comes at the recession has opened up a lot of opportunities for vendors to actually just explore and grow and look at markets beyond Trinidad. So the online store as well offers them the opportunity to sell their products both locally as well as throughout the region and the USA.
As a female entrepreneur or a woman in business, how is it in Trinidad and Tobago?
Being a woman in business, I would admit getting into it, I had reservations because I wasn't sure about the business climate. But being in it, I would say it's not that much of a disparity between a male and a female dynamic, and it's actually been an area that I was kind of researching more to see if women are disadvantaged, but no, well, if you look around, a lot of the business people here are actually women. So, yeah.
All right, Risa, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Access. We're going to look around and talk to some of your vendors.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
We're now with Nicole, and she is the owner of Made with Love Designs. Nicole, tell us a little bit about the products you have displaying here at Things TT.
Okay, well, I have handmade pendants with, I make them out of wood, glass, and acrylic beads. And I also have handbands, I have anklets, same glass, wooden or acrylic beads. And it's all handmade.
Is there a room in the TNT business community for something like this? So we know about, imported goods from overseas. Is there room for authentic handmade products?
Well, there should be, and we should be able to export as well.
How difficult it is though competing with those products and trying to get buyers to be interested in what you're selling?
It's difficult, but once you keep your prices at a reasonable level, people can afford to buy, and you have plenty stock, so they'll buy more.
The products are made with love. as you say. Do you think that gives you some sort of competitive advantage in the market?
Yes, I guess people are looking for a little love and a little kindness and a little giving. So I usually have a bowl where I have free stuff. So I have free stoppers today. And it's all about shabby chic jewelry for me. I bring back the hippie kind of generation of the 70s, the love children. And that's basically my inspiration.
We're with Kirk Langton, and he's the manager of Lush Kingdom. Kirk, welcome to Business Access TV. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, Lush Kingdom is designed by the artist James Hackett. Everything here that you see is done strictly off of his computer, his design. We basically create these prints, send them to different manufacturers across the world, and of course, this is, you see it ending up here on sneakers, scarves, socks, books, etc. Right? Because we have an online presence where we sell everything and more. Right?
How important is an event like this, Things TT, to a local business like yours?
Well, this is exactly what we need. People have been clicking like online. What we saw is that 100 people click like and 3 people go to the site. What we do when we do this pop-up is so that people can touch the product. They can tell the quality, and then it drives them back to our website to actually do more purchasing.
All right, Kirk, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, well, I'm the founder of Dejanet's Bath and Body. We make natural soaps, creams, candles, body butters, all natural to make, every woman look beautiful on the inside and the outside. We make it with local ingredients, so we have like hibiscus and nuni, we have like morning brew, we have turmeric and lemon. And all of our products are beneficial to your skin, and we are trying to promote to stay away from the chemical products. So that's where we make stuff that, will be beneficial on the outside and you'll look and feel beautiful.
All the raw materials are sourced here in Trinidad?
Most of it is sourced in Trinidad, like for example our coconut oil, our hibiscus flowers, our turmeric, lemon from rough skin lemons. So most of the base ingredients are local.
All right, what's in the morning brew?
Oh, well, morning brew, we got local coffee beans, and it have castor oil, palm oil, olive oil, so you get the benefits of all the natural oils and butters, and as well the additives.
All right, Chanel, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and have a good day.
We take our first break on Business Access's coverage of Things TT. We are here in Trinidad and Tobago. More when we return.
We are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Business Access TV's coverage of Things TT Marketplace here in Port of Spain, Trinidad. We are now with Cathy and Thomas and Amanda Villarreal, and they will tell us a little bit about their business and the products they have on display today. Let's start with Amanda. Amanda, tell us the name of your business and a little bit about the products.
Hi, my business name is Linus Soaps and Such. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. We have body butter and soaps and body scrubs that's $35 and up, right? Our best sellers are the mocha and the cotton candy swirl.
Let's turn over now to Katyan. Tell us a little bit about some of the products that you have on display.
Hi, my products are soaps, candles, scented candles. I do foot soaks and lip balms. I get the encouragement from my cousin who encouraged me to do the class that I started, and from there we expanded ourselves. So,
all right. These products are sourced. Well, they're made from locally sourced material, right?
Yes, it is from aloes from in the yard, saffron root from in the yard. There, oatmeal. Natural products.
Well, you were telling us about one of your best seller. Remind us what it is and why do you think it's such a good one?
Well, the mocha and the cotton candy and the dragon's blood is our best seller, right? Mostly because people love the smell, the scent of it, right? The mocha contains, well, actual mocha, and people love the scent of the mocha, so they most likely tend to buy it, seeing as it smells real, like you can eat it. And our cotton candy, it has...
And it is scented with cotton candy, but people love the scent, so that's one of our top sellers.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for making it Business Access TV.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
My main products, what I focus on right now is my peanuts. I do scorpion pepper peanuts. As you can see, the hottest pepper in the world, I would say. I don't know, all kind of different pepper coming around now, but this is the hottest pepper, right? And then I have the seasonal one, which is, it's seasonal with shadabeni, garlic, and sea salt. Well, all my products I use sea salt, right? And then, well, you can get the basic no salt or salt, slightly salted, or if you want with mild pepper, you can get anything you require. I have like tamarind sauce, which is a good seller too. This has no pepper in it, and it's sweet, so kids can use it. It's kid friendly. And well, I do different types of pepper sauce. For example, this one here is shadabeni, our local shadabeni or bandania pepper sauce, more mild flavor. Then we have the bad boy, which is the scorpion pepper sauce. Again, the hottest pepper. But it has some flavor in it, just not heat alone. Just a little flavor with maybe pomsite. You may know it as golden apple. And I have another flavorful one, which locally we call this mother-in-law. I don't know why they call it mother-in-law, but I have it as cut up pepper. So this has lime juice, carrots, karaili, radish or murai, pomsite, garlic, salt, basic. I try to go to different markets. So any market I see pop up, I would just sign up for it. I just want to expand, let people know the kind of products that I have.
We're now joined by Noelia Cipriani. She's the owner of Noelia's Paper Creation. So now, the interesting thing about Noelia's designs is that it's made of paper, but if she didn't tell us, I definitely wouldn't know, because these jewelry looks like nothing like paper. So tell us a little bit about how do you make these things?
Well, I make it, it's a very simple process. I use gift paper, normal gift paper you buy in stationery stores. And I use a process of rolling, and it is sealed with a sealant, so it is protected from any weather and water. It makes it water resistant. So it's a normal, simple process that I use to make these beautiful beads.
How important is this in terms of for the environment?
It is important for the environment because I repurpose. What I use is gift paper that is normally purchased to wrap a present and then it's discarded. What I have done today is that I repurpose the gift paper into beautiful jewelry because, as you know, the properties of gift paper, it does not fade, it does not rust, it's hyperallergic. and very beautiful patterns are available to me easily. So that is my reason for using gift paper as a media for beautiful paper jewelry today.
Well, what has been the response from the participants, well, the other vendors, and of course the people here at Things TT?
Oh yes, the response is tremendous because one, people are beginning to be more aware of buying local, one, and two, my creations are very tropical in color. So they are looking at the pieces and local products that are reflecting their personality and their culture of Trinidad and Tobago. What people are looking at my table and they pass it straight because they say just another piece of jewelry. But I have to let them know that it's made out of paper, and then they open their eyes that, wow, this is something that's eco-friendly and organic. And it is made into these beautiful pieces of jewelry that they could wear any time of the day.
All right, Narela, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Cheesecake House is the only local company that has 101 different flavors of cheesecake. We have an organic line where we have eggless, gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan cheesecakes. So more or less where most of the cheesecakes has basic flavors, we sort of incorporated a lot of our local fruits into it. So like avocado, soursop, passion fruit, flavors that you wouldn't usually hear in cheesecakes to create something different, even sorrel and panchakram for the Christmas time.
What's been the response to the cheesecake?
It has been absolutely amazing. Every week we're at a different market and people follow us on Facebook and they're excited. They put reviews that actually make me more passionate about doing what we do. They make me feel like if it's important because other people believe that it is important. They enjoy it.
How important it is for a local business like yours to incorporate as much local ingredients as possible and local fruits and vegetables?
Well, it's very important to me because I tend to feel like every time we walk into a supermarket, we see all these foreign things and it doesn't feel like it hit home. Only when I started creating cheesecakes with local flavors did myself and even other people started to appreciate that we actually have great fruits here. We have a lot of nice products that others can enjoy wherever others think it's exotic and special in some way. We locals eventually start appreciating it more than we did before.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have so much more for you from Things TT Market here in Port of Spain, but that's on the other side of this break, so stay with us.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back. We are in Trinidad and Tobago at the Things TT Marketplace where there's a wide variety of products. And joining me now is Erica Simpson and she's with Cottage Accessories and Bags and Things. Erica, welcome to Business Access TV.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about the products you have here on display today.
All right, at Cottage Accessories and Bags and Things, what we do is total local handcrafted stuff. So we make all our bags ourselves. We do all the designs ourselves. We do our fabrics, our batik and tie-dye fabrics. So we do clutches, fold-over clutches, tote bags, messenger bags, school bags. We do things like beach wraps and placemats and stuff. A wide variety of items we do.
I see you have in your card handmade for you by Bags and Things.
Yes, we do total, that's why I said totally local handmade. So we, as I said, I represent two businesses today. Cottage Accessories and Bags and Things. All right, the owner of Bags and Things is Deborah Mitchell, and I am the owner of Cottage Accessories, but I'm representing the both businesses today. And that's what we do, total local, handcrafted all the way.
How difficult it is for local entrepreneurs in a market like this pushing locally made products?
Well, it is becoming easier now because I think people are now more conscious of local product. I mean, before it was a bit hard, but I think people are more conscious now of local products. So they're actually looking for that local gift. And what we specialize in, we do not repeat our patterns at all. So that, I think that's the up we have, that we give you that unique, thing, and then our tie-dye, batik, and our full fabric design aspect, so that you don't see two of our bags anywhere. And that's what our shoppers like.
Hi Sonia, how is things TT going for you this time around?
It's going well. We had a lot of people who came by looking. People are now calculating their budgets because it's Christmas and they have to get a little bit of everything for everybody. But we have great products because it's organic, all natural body scrubs, and the price point is quite a good price point because it's $45 for a scrub. So a lot of people like it because they can buy a number of different ones and give to quite a few people.
Tell us a little bit about some of the variety that you have here, and what are some of the benefits of using your scrubs?
Well, first of all, the body scrub is good for exfoliating as well as moisturizing. The exfoliant is either sea salt or brown sugar, and we all know that the brown sugar is good for you because it has glycolic acid in it as well. So it gives you almost a chemical peel, but not as strong as a chemical peel. So the exfoliant will take off the dead skin that you have on your body, and it will help give you that glow. Also, we have coconut oil in it, all naturally made coconut oil from Trinidad. So that moisturizes at the same time. For you guys, I do have some guys that use scrubs. You all don't like to put on lotion, and you all end up a little bit ashy and stuff. It's the perfect thing for you all.
Hi, my name is Marianne from Delcuore Designs, Trinidad and Tobago Art from the Heart. So here at Things TT, it's my second year here supporting the initiative, and it's showcasing Trinidad and Tobago, the natural Trinidad and Tobago, and encouraging people to learn more about the country, explore more, and get involved in conservation as well. So to do that, we have a range of postcards of different areas around both islands. We also have Chiclay block mounts and canvases available, magnets, calendars for next year with 13 different photographs. So the challenge is, if you haven't been there before, try to get there in 2018. And then you'll have 13 more new places that you've been to after the end of 2018. We also have puzzles this year, introducing puzzles as well for those who like that little bit of mental stimulation. And then for those, the technos, we have mouse pads, notebooks, and then also to add a little bit more creativity to it, we have hand-painted clay pots and cacti plates for sale.
How important do you think it is? You're talking about the challenge, the 13 pictures. How important do you think that is to the tourism industry here?
So Trinidad and Tobago has the highest biodiversity in the Caribbean. That means we have the most number of plants and animal species, and I think everybody in the country should try to learn as much as possible about it and learn how they can influence the survival of these different species.
My name is Anne Lorraine Brown, and the name of my business is Chic Designs by Lorraine. And the major part of this business is actually satin caps. So I'm really doing headwear. And the satin caps, it's not just caps that you just wear for fun or for style, but actually satin is very, very good for your hair. So I have a little information here, the benefits of satin for your hair, which keeps it soft. It keeps the hair products from transferring from your hair onto your pillowcase and giving you acne and that kind of thing. It also breathes. And then additional to that, I have the satin pillowcases. So the satin pillowcases along with the satin caps gives you a real comforting rest at night. I also have the turban headbands, which really came from my customers. They said to me, why not make something that we can wear outside when we have a bad hair day. Because the satin caps, they started wearing it on the outside, but actually it's for sleeping. Or you wear it in the house when you wash your hair and that kind of stuff. And I decided to make the turban headband in 2 styles. So this is either for a bad hair day, or some people tell me, and we have no hair, so we need to cover our heads. So it serves a good purpose.
Why did you decide to be a part of Things TT Market?
Okay, Things TT, I heard about Things TT before. I came to a few of their markets, and I just love the layout. I love the ambience and the atmosphere of the entire thing. So I decided, you know what, before I couldn't do it, but now my time is more available. So I decided to come into the market and have fun here today.
And that's where we have to leave it today at the Things TT Marketplace here in Trinidad and Tobago. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Camille Gale in Port of Spain. Thanks so much for watching.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transfer and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process, because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2 or 3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent, excellent, excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons are coming with those proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
there's one thing that we are clear on. The right to life supersedes every other right.
We applaud Prime Minister Andrew Holness's stance, cauterizing murders, shootings, domestic violence, rape and other violent acts committed against our citizens is an absolute necessity. We continue to encourage you to call 311 and tell what you know. After all, silence breeds violence. On today's Jamaica Magazine, we are highlighting two important segments of the population, the deaf and seafarers. Stay with us.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, September 23. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called on world leaders to double their contributions to the Green Climate Fund, GCF. The fund is seeking to raise $100 billion by 2020 to aid developing countries adapt and increase their resilience to climate change.
An ambitious and successful replenishment will enable our Green Climate Fund to fulfill its role of channeling adequate and predictable climate finance to where it is most needed. I am confident that our fund will continue to respond to the needs and ambitions of developing countries, but we need to place it in a position to effectively do so.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was addressing Sunday's high-level luncheon held under the theme, An Urgent Call for Countries to Partner for Climate Action. The event was jointly hosted by Prime Minister Holness and his Norwegian counterpart, Erna Solberg. Mr. Holness is on assignment in the U.S. state of New York, where he's representing Jamaica's interests at the United Nations. The Prime Minister will be addressing the United Nations Climate Action Summit, the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy, and the United Nations General Assembly, which will take place from September 21 to October 1. Mr. Holness will also be holding bilateral talks with several leaders on the margins of the UN General Assembly. During his absence, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is in charge of government. In other news, the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be rolling out its revamped traffic management system next month. The new system will regulate the issuing of tickets, address the accumulation of thousands of unpaid tickets, and restore public order among unruly motorists. While making the disclosure, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says a centralized web-based system will coordinate payments, demerit points, court fines, and the issuing of electronic warrants.
This is, of course, the value added of the new traffic ticket management system. It allows Officer of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch to access real-time reports that detail information on all warrants that have been issued for an individual and flags the warrants that remain outstanding for that individual at any point in time, so in fact you can know who they are, what they're outstanding for, and find them and charge them.
Minister Chang was speaking at the handover of 80 motorcycles to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, on Friday. Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson says the 80 motorcycles will be deployed in town centers and hotspots across the island to allow for quick response and enforcement of traffic breaches. The increased mobility, Major Anderson says, will greatly impact traffic crashes and road deaths.
This is something that we are paying particular attention to, and for the last part of the year, both through our enforcement strategies and our presence, we are hoping to get a reduction.
The government of Jamaica and the People's Republic of China have signed a protocol to govern the export of frozen lobster to China. The agreement, which was signed on Thursday, outlines the sanitary and hygienic conditions necessary to facilitate such export. It also indicates the responsibilities of the local authority body, the Veterinary Services Division, in coordination with the General Administration of Customs of the People's Republic of China. Fisheries Minister Audley Shaw says the agreement is a big step in the right direction as it further expands the market for the export of frozen lobsters into China. Over 28,000 kilograms of live lobster in export is expected this year.
I urge all our relevant stakeholders and our potential exporters to adhere to their responsibilities to comply strictly with the requirements.
The new agreement is an expansion on a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, signed in 2017 for the export of fisheries products to China. Since the signing of that MOU, Minister Shaw said a protocol for the export of live lobster was developed and ratified by both countries, and there has been steady export of live spiny lobster from Jamaica to China. 120 primary school teachers in 75 schools across 7 parishes will be taught how to diagnose and correct various language-based learning disabilities in students. It will be facilitated by the Creative Language-Based Learning Foundation following the contract signing on Wednesday with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. The 6-month course is being funded by JSIF at a cost of $20.6 million.
What we want to do from here on out is just to continue to build from strength to strength, and I'm sure that in the time to come we will see the results of the students who have benefited from this program.
So when we have a creative learning-based platform that will assist children with learning disabilities, it is a win not just for the teachers who are being trained, but it is a win for all our children, all our thousands of Jamaican children who will now benefit from teachers who have now educated themselves and gone through professional development to ensure that they can teach our children who present themselves with learning disabilities.
The Linda Mood Bell program was first taught to 50 teachers in Jamaica in 2017. It is a useful technique for children with dyslexia, hyperlexia, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorders, and other learning difficulties. And finally, the National Water Commission, NWC, says it will be ensuring that real estate developers build according to the approved water storage capacity as per their permits. Speaking at a JIS think tank, NWC's president, Mark Barnett, says permits usually require housing developments to have water storage for a minimum of 6 days. However, Mr. Barnett says developers tend to ignore that part of the permit, and that the NWC will be applying enforcement measures.
For those developers who would have been approved and based on the certificate of approval issued by the NWC, which is also used by the parish council or the municipal council as a means of granting development approval, they are going to be mandated before getting their final connection to the NWC system in terms of those requirements.
Mr. Barnett says storage is a requirement for continued water supply to customers in the event of a disruption in the NWC system. Meanwhile, Mr. Barnett is also recommending that persons modify their premises to facilitate rainwater harvesting.
So where persons would have put in a townhouse complex, an apartment complex, most of the driveways paved, it is just simple an approach to put a small storage, capture that rainwater that is flowing from those surfaces, and you could use that for your on-site irrigation of your common areas rather than utilize the potable water.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Jamaica is making significant strides in its quest to become the center of logistics and maritime operations in the region. We intend to do so by fully utilizing our location, our workforce, and our indomitable spirit.
The seas call them home. Home, where the northeast trade winds dance through the sounds of reggae, where the cockpit country shadows the world's fastest man, the vanguard of the Caribbean. The seas call them home, home to Jamaica. Jamaica is the third largest island in the Caribbean and the largest English-speaking island state, with the seventh largest natural harbor in the world, essential for a robust shipping industry. Jamaica also has the second largest transshipment hub in the Caribbean. These developments are driven by a commitment to honor the international maritime conventions that Jamaica has signed, establishing a maturing partnership with the International Maritime Organization, IMO. This 40-year partnership brings consistent advocacy for the maritime interests of Jamaica, the Caribbean and small island developing states, and the least developed countries. The seas carry them on, shaping an expansive and progressive maritime vision, fueling a structure and infrastructure of container, cruise and bulk cargo ports, maritime administration and ship registration, maritime education and training. This vision led to the expansion and upgrading of port facilities island-wide to capitalize on additional trade and larger ships accessing services through the newly expanded Panama Canal. The expansion positions Kingston as one of the region's major ports. The Port of Kingston is also equipped to offer a range of maritime logistical services. For example, operating as the regional hub for vehicles delivered to 23 destinations in Central America and the Caribbean. Through German Ship Repair Services Jamaica, the island also offers wet dock repair services and plans full ship repairs with a floating dry dock. Jamaica's commitment to a greener maritime environment guides its fuel diversification with the use of clean fuels, including natural gas. The prevention of maritime pollution is also integral in policy initiatives. As part of this thrust, Jamaica is now acceded to the Ballast Water Management Convention 2004 and is also the lead partnering country in the IMO's Globe Ballast Partnerships Program. Bunkering is another key element of Jamaica's position as a major shipping center. We supply bunkers not only for vessels calling at Jamaican ports, including cruise ships, but also for those transiting across the wider Caribbean. Falmouth, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio and Kingston, 5 cruise shipping ports, with the Falmouth Pier being purpose-built for the largest cruise ships in the world. These major cruise ports offer a full range of cruise passenger facilities and services. Awarded the world's leading cruise destination, Jamaica's unique attractions, diverse tourism and numerous recreational and cultural activities are equal sources of attraction for the creme de la creme of the seas, Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship and other major cruise lines. The seas sends them out. Seafarers and shipping staff trained in Jamaica for international service are key to Jamaica's success as a maritime state. The Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, is the sole IMO-recognized maritime training institution in the English-speaking Caribbean for the training of officers. The CMU is now poised to satisfy the region's demands in the expanding maritime and logistics sectors with the opening of 5 satellite campuses. Through partnership with the Technical Cooperation Division of the IMO, Jamaica helps countries in the region meet their obligations under the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping for Seafarers. Jamaica has also chaired for 10 years at the IMO, the organ responsible for the international rules for standards of training for seafarers. Jamaica is committed to reducing substandard shipping in the Caribbean. To meet this objective, the island has hosted the Secretariat of the Caribbean Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control, CMOU, since 2004. In addition, Jamaica is host to the International Seabed Authority. 25 states now have permanent missions to support the regulation and control of all mineral-related activities of the authority. Partnering with the IMO Program of Integration for Women in the Maritime Sector, Jamaica has helped to mobilize maritime women in the region and strengthened their contribution to the safety, security, and environmental protection of the maritime industry. Jamaica has also hosted the inaugural Regional Women in Maritime Association WEMAC conference. Its executive is led by a cohort of strong female leaders, including its first president, a Jamaican. The seas carry them through. Jamaica's long-standing advantages, highly developed shipping expertise, and a skilled and educated workforce has seen our maritime sector blossom into an invaluable resource for the Caribbean and the region. A maritime state, a maritime home, bridging the IMO with the Caribbean and the Americas.
Let's get together and feel alright.
As we celebrate International Day of Sign Languages, we highlight deaf children and their need to communicate with us. Take a look.
Some things we may say.
No. Thank you. Goodbye. Excuse me.
Yes. Please. Hello. I'm sorry.
Wanna play? What's up? Stop. What's a Wi-Fi password?
Wait. Where's the bathroom? What's your name?
Drink. Water. What's the name of your school? Where's the town?
Taxi, bus park, shop.
How to get a deaf person's attention. Don't shout at me. Don't throw anything at me. That's dangerous. You can walk beside me and touch me on my shoulder lightly, or you can wave at me. If I'm in a room, you can flicker the lights.
Maintain eye contact. Ensure you're looking directly at the person you're speaking with. Try not to let your eyes wander. Also, it's best to communicate in a room that has good lighting. If it's too dark, communication will be difficult.
Please, make sure you don't have anything in your hands when you're talking to me.
If you cannot sign, you can write, draw, show a picture, or text.
Another way you can communicate with me is by using gestures. You can use your body and your hands to speak. For example, if you don't know the sign for bus, you could use this sign. If you don't know the sign for stop, you could use this gesture.
Now that you've gotten some quick tips on how to communicate with the deaf, be inspired by deaf teacher and advocate Anthony Aiken.
Born deaf. My mother had German measles, rubella, and either I could have had a physical disability, be blind, but I became deaf, and I'm happy with it. I'm perfect with it. My mother, she was really concerned. She didn't know where to put me. St. Christopher's School for the Deaf was too far. It was in Brownstone. So my mother held me at home till I was about 6 years old, and I found Daniel Williams School for the Deaf. I was placed there at 6 and continued from there. The first time I signed, or the first time I witnessed sign language, was 6. Before that, it was lip reading and gestures. The children would sign, but the teachers didn't sign. But I was good at lip reading, but the education aspect of it, learning, that wasn't a part of it. We were focusing on being able to speak and being with speech therapists, and that's why hence not having the great education I should. I was working at Jamaica Flour Mills. It was a good job, but communication was always a challenge. Sometimes there are a lot of misunderstandings. So I decided to resign. I didn't work for 1 year, and then I had my son after that year. And then JD called me, Jamaica Association for the Deaf. It wasn't my goal to be a mentor, but it has truly been beneficial because the children need that. They need role models, they need mentors. I encourage the deaf children to have deaf pride, to know that they can. You are on the same level as a hearing person. It doesn't matter that you can't hear. You have a lot of deaf adults who are successful, and you can achieve. You can get the education that you want, you can do anything that you want, you can achieve. Don't feel like you can't because you're deaf. The same hearing people who are teasing you and saying you're dumb and all these things, don't focus on that, focus on yourself and focus on improving yourself. With the sign language, everyone is included. That's my philosophy. So that means hearing people have to learn how to sign so that they can respect the deaf community, and the deaf person himself or herself will feel pride. Because when I think back on when I was growing up, how I was forced to lip read and forced to talk, I'm happy to see now that sign language is there and everybody is using it, and that's my philosophy.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you're saying to my sister. She could be the next Prime Minister.
Sexual abuse is always a very difficult thing to confront, particularly when the alleged victim is a child. Parents, if it is that you suspect that your child has been sexually abused or is in a vulnerable set of circumstances where an abuse may occur, we encourage you to have dialogue with your child. Take the child to the pediatrician who normally attends to the child. If there is no such pediatrician, take your child to the clinic, to the hospital, to some medical practitioner who can do an assessment for you. It's very important as well that we don't just look at the physical side, but we also seek to find the kind of psychosocial support that a child may need. Does the child need a session with a counselor? Does the child need to speak with a pastor who is used to dealing with these issues? Does the child need to get that ongoing psychological support to assist with the healing process and also to assist the child in becoming strong enough, as it were, to deal with the various processes that will follow once it is that you suspect an abuse has occurred? If it is that the child actually discloses when you engage the child in discussion that yes, mommy and daddy, I was abused, we encourage you to entertain the child, to listen to what the child has to say to you, and to take it very seriously. So we really urge you to have those discussions and to seek guidance in terms of, do I speak to the police about this, which we always say you have to, because once a child has been sexually abused, it's a criminal matter, and it means that once at all possible, the child should be assisted to go through the processes so that the perpetrator can in fact be held accountable. Support your child and let them understand in very clear terms that they are not the cause or the reason for this abuse having been perpetrated. But the most important element is to support them, get them access to the services that they need, and give them a chance to have you give them that listening ear. For these tips and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm. Thank you.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you're saying to my sister, cause she could be the next Prime Minister.
And that's all the time we have here on this station. Catch us round about the same time tomorrow. We are available online at your leisure. There's our website, our pages on all the major social media sites, our YouTube channel, and our mobile app that's smartphone compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be spending some time with Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands Limited. He'll be showing us his favorite pastimes, which include running and then chilling at Cafe Da Vinci, a classic Italian-style restaurant in the heart of Kingston. So don't go anywhere, more after this. Hi Roberto, I'm Candy.
Hello Candy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So what are we going to be doing today?
Well, we will have some run today.
We're going to run?
Yes.
Not for long, right?
A little bit, like 5 kilometers, something like that.
So that's a 5K. That's what
5K.
people call a 5K.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. But then we're going to eat after that.
Yes.
Where are we going to be eating?
I like the Italian food. We will have Cafe Da Vinci.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So let's talk about this run though. How long have you been running?
Since 5 years ago, I start to make some training and
Right.
try to race some competitions.
Okay, so does that mean you're running professionally now, or are you just still doing it kind of
No,
leisurely
it's not
just
professional,
to keep fit?
but at least get the medal from some races, yes.
So what's your most recent race?
Well, the last one was the Miami half marathon. I ran there.
What about the Reggae Marathon out here? You did that
I
one?
ran the half marathon in here in Jamaica, in Madrid.
So did you place?
I got the medal.
You got a medal, and
I
that's
got
what
the medal.
counts.
Yeah, that's the main game
Right.
here. Yeah, actually a very good experience. It's the first time that I actually ran in this type of heat.
Right.
And,
Yes, it's hot,
and
man.
it was tough, but at the end, like I said, the main game is to finalize, get your medal, and
Right.
the satisfaction that you get because you have to train.
What are the benefits of running now? And like how we're going to be running for so long, tell me what I need to do to prepare for a run like that.
Well, it helps you not just your health. You can clear your mind when you have the run, when you have that experience. You can think, what do you need to improve? What do you need to change?
Right. So are there other ways that you work out? Do you go to the gym or do you just?
I normally go to the gym, but if you ask me my passion, it have the run.
Run,
Yeah.
the running.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, so do we have to stretch and warm up before we run?
Definitely. Well, first of all, we need to tighten our shoes.
Okay, I tied mine already. So I'm ready, but let's go.
Okay,
Let's go.
perfect.
So I take it that run was easy for you since you don't seem like you're out of breath. No. And I'm dying.
It's a good run. It was a good run.
Okay, so the most important thing after a run is to hydrate, yes?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so we're going to be getting some food now.
Yeah.
And we're going to be meeting up at Cafe Da Vinci.
Perfect.
All right, great.
Okay, good job.
Thank you. Coming up. Would you say you love your job?
Yes, definitely.
There's no work without passion, right?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have that because if not, you will not achieve results. That's a fact.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test. It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, free eye test.
Free eye testing is back and it's here to stay. Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply. Make your appointment today at www.islandeyewear.com or call us 630-1180. Island Eyewear, your style, your price.
It's Island Hour, free eye test.
Hello, my name is Blake Widmer. I'm the co-founder of Def Can Coffee. The exposure that we had to the just general community through Business Access TV itself is awesome. It was a big deal for them, you know, having EATV come here, and we were with you guys for probably 4 hours that day. It was a long time. We really appreciate your guys' openness to recognize that, yeah, captions are important. If a deaf person's watching it, how are they gonna understand what's being said? So looking back is just a big boost, encouragement for our team. If you're a business or an organization that wants to have yourselves featured on BATV, or you want to do advertising with BATV, what I would tell them is that you guys listen well and you ask good questions, and that will help, at the end of the day, deliver a really good product for your business too.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Hi again, Roberto.
Hello, Candy. How are you?
Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay.
So we're going to be having Italian food.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me a little about this restaurant.
Well, actually, I find this restaurant since 2 years ago. But I like the food.
You like the food?
Yeah, I like very good.
What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Any type of pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, I like the pizza, yes.
The pizza here is good.
Yeah. You want something to drink?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So you're the managing director at CBL. Tell us what that entails. What do you have to do on a day-to-day?
Okay, well, CBL is a son, I will say like that, from two big companies here in Jamaica, from Pepsi Cola Jamaica and from Red Stripe. And my job is try to maintain the balance between the three of us.
Right.
We have around 500 persons working with us in CBL. We are a company that actually make the sales and distribution for the both main companies, and my job is to try to help the people to drive the job and to try to achieve the results. That's the main game here.
Would you say you love your job?
Yes, definitely.
There's no work without passion, right?
Yeah, definitely. You need to have that, because if not, you will not achieve results. That's a fact. I have an excellent team, actually. You know that one person cannot make the things happen.
How did you get started at CBL?
Well, actually, when I was in Guatemala, I am working in logistics and operations part. And part of the owners of PCJ here in Jamaica, they talked with me and they offered the opportunity to come to Jamaica and to try to work with the people in Jamaica to put CBL in a different level. It's kind of different job, because here I saw the entire company, not just logistics, and that's a challenge. But at the end, I accept the challenge and I try to make my best.
And so far, so good, right?
So far, so good. we have a very good 2015. The first thing that we actually discussed when I came in January last year is that we need to join and work together, and to try to understand that yes, we have difference. We came from two different companies that have different cultures. Plus that, we need to understand that we have some Jamaican people, some Salvadorian people, some Guatemalan people. We need to put all that together and try to actually extract the best things. In the beginning, it was a little challenging, but now I can say that we are in a better position. We know each other. We know that we need to work like as a team, because if we don't work as a team, we will not help the company to drive the result. Yes. I believe that the people actually start to understand what we need to improve to put this company in the level that we want. We want to make this company the best sales and distribution company in this country.
Right. Well, you know, Jamaica is a Pepsi country.
Yeah, definitely. And when you have the most strong brands together, you need to do something good or excellent to have this one.
Absolutely. Red Stripe and Pepsi, that's a good combo. How do you see yourself affecting change in the industry that you're in?
I will separate in two. One is an internal challenge. That means that CBL just have around 3 years old of existence, and you need to work with the company culture. You need to build that. Plus that, CBL has a lot of changes in the exec team. They start with someone and they change, and I come over, and they are trying to face that, and that's a main challenge. We are working on that. We are not in the state that we want, but we're in our way. The other one is the external one. Jamaica, the entire countries in the world haven't changed. Yeah, you have political change now. In the industry, we have that. We have better competition, different type of brands, different type of products that we need to keep very close, because we want to keep going and to keep doing our job as the first companies here, because like we said, we have the most strong brands in this company. But we need to work every single day to maintain that, to try to say we are the best since 10 years ago, and we want to be the best 10 years move forward. Yeah. We need to learn what is each one of us position, what we need to do in that position to help drive that result. We want to win the gold medal.
Right.
That's the main game, and we want to win consistently, not one time, because we want to be the best. We want to be the best company in this country.
What would you change to make Jamaica more business friendly to our international partners?
Well, I think that as a country, we need to review our policies, the speed of change, the entire change.
Right.
We need to understand that if we don't open the country to the different variants that we have in the world, we will have troubles to connect to the world. Because at the end, we are in an island. We need to maintain our connection with outside, but we need to give them the confidence that in Jamaica we do the things correct, excellent, in the best way, trying to achieve the better results. And if we can put that in our people, in our Jamaican people, we can change. And we can be the best, because at the end, I live here. I am a Jamaican.
Right.
Definitely.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
What are some tips that you can give us on changing countries, on changing cultures, on that whole migration process to make that, smoother?
Well, I can say, one, you need to keep your mind open. You need to know that you need to learn, not the other one.
Not the other way around.
Because you are the new one.
Exactly.
You are the new kids on the block. You need to learn from the people. You need to find good people that you can learn from them and to try to understand the entire environment. I want to learn from this country. I want to know places, people, culture, traditions, all that kind of stuff. And food, for example, we have a different type of food also. And with that, we need to work with that. I need to understand that I will not get a tortilla here. That is a very common thing in my country. But I will get some jerk chicken.
Right.
And I need to work with that, yes.
Right. Okay. Well, speaking of lunch and food, I think we're going to be having lunch outside on the terrace.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much.
Coming up,
we can have maybe between 10, 12 or 15 persons running for the presidents.
We only have two.
That, and
And
for
it's a
me,
problem.
Yeah, but imagine that. You can realize there.
Yeah, I can't imagine the political tension then if it's, 12 to 15 parties. Wow.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi, my name is Diane Plummer and I'm the Managing Director for Your True Shade. So the program that I participated in was Creating Wealth, and it would give viewers an idea of the different processes in Your True Shade, taking the products from the raw materials to the production and then finally to the consumer. Being on Business Access TV has definitely impacted my business because since the feature was aired, I got a lot of calls asking about the products, where they can get products, and asking additional information as well. Another thing that I did was to actually link the video to my social media posts so that persons can actually learn more about the brand. So for persons considering BATV, I would definitely recommend it because you will definitely see the payoff for it. Persons will definitely be interested in finding out more about you as well as your brand.
Roberto, talk to us about your childhood.
I born in Guatemala. I raised in Guatemala City. I am the second of third.
Okay.
I have a big sister and a young brother. I play football, basketball, volleyball, whatever you name it, I can say.
So you're very active then,
yes,
obviously.
Yes, and I like the music. I like,
Music.
Yeah, I play the drums.
Oh, you play too?
Yes, I play the drums.
Roberto, you're doing a whole heap of things.
Yeah, I play a little bit guitar.
Okay.
But the drums was my thing.
That's your thing.
Yeah, I can pass 4 or 5 hours.
Just playing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so tell us about your family.
Okay, I have a wife, Maria Jose.
She's also from Guatemala.
She's also
Okay.
from Guatemala. I know her in a church. We was a couple just like 1 year and a half, and then we decided to get married.
Okay.
Very young. We have three children.
3.
They are my life, actually.
Obviously, yeah. I guess the oldest one would have experienced the change most significantly. You know, how are they adjusting?
I said to them that maybe I am the most interested to get back to Guatemala. Not them. They are happy here. They are doing
You're the only
a
one.
lot of things here. They have a lot of friends. They go to the related houses. My wife have a lot of friends. They spend a lot of time doing
So everybody
PR.
has adjusted well.
Yeah, they are the PR people. I am working here. They are the one that are actually making
But that's
progress.
nice to know that everybody has settled in well.
You have a very beautiful culture.
Right.
We are good here. Actually, I love to be here.
I'm so glad that you've enjoyed your experience so far. What would you say are some of the other differences then between Guatemala and Jamaica?
The weather is different.
Yeah.
We can start with that.
So you guys are cold out?
Yeah, we have a lot of, for example, volcanoes. We have some active volcanoes.
Active volcanoes?
Yeah, yeah. Guatemala is an Spanglish. I will say Spanglish.
I was
Why?
just about to say Spanglish meaning
Yeah.
Spanish and
Yeah,
English.
we have a lot of influence from the American culture.
But the language spoken in Guatemala is Spanish. Okay.
You can realize that the people use a lot of English words to merge with the Spanish thing
Right.
and drive the conversation like that.
Right.
But we are a country that speaks Spanish, but we also have 22 dialects
Okay.
separately. When you talk about politics, we can have maybe between 10, 12 or 15 persons running for the presidents. You need to
As
pick.
in political parties?
Yes, yes.
10, 12 and 15?
Yes.
We only
Yeah.
have 2.
That and
And
for
it's a
me,
problem.
yeah, but imagine that. Yeah, you can realize there.
Yeah, I can't imagine
How
the political tension then if it's, 12 to 15 parties. Wow, wow. All right, now on a lighter note, would you like to share with us an embarrassing or awkward moment that you've experienced, maybe in Jamaica or otherwise?
Well, yes, I have one. This was my first town hall with the people on CBL, with the company. In my intention to actually to share something with them, I tried to put an example using Usain Bolt.
Oh, no, it's insane.
Nobody get that. And I start to sweat because I don't get the connection.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew what I'm talking about. Simon Tacter, who is my HR
Right.
director, came to me and said, "What do you need to say?"
What are you trying to say?
And I show the script. Oh, it's Usain Bolt.
And I'm sure it would have connected if people realized.
Yeah, I need to start over the entire thing because I need to connect and to make the sense of this, but we are used to in Guatemala and Central America to name it like that. It's
Right.
Usain because
Right,
it's in the
to
Spanish
pronounce it.
in Spanish sense, but that's for
Not
me
here.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful because to connect to the people,
Right, you need to say it the way we pronounce it, right?
And actually, that gave me a hard time, but at least I
But
learned
you're
something.
adjusting,
Yeah,
and you
I
learned something.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Roberto, thanks so much for taking us to your chill spot. I've enjoyed the day. Running, it was like the perfect day. You run, you do some exercising, and then you eat some good food, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Candy. Thank you for having me. And for me, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to share this with you and to have this experience in Jamaica.
Thank you. Great food, good conversation, and a little bit of physical activity pretty much sums up how I spent my day. Thanks, of course, to Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands Limited, for sharing with us how he spends his leisure time. And until next Friday, I'm Candy for Chill Spot. Bye! On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be spending some time with Roberto Gallardo, Managing Director at Celebration Brands. Wow. So, I start everything with so. I need to stop that.
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Gallardo from Celebration Brands, and I will be with...
Yes, I will have this thing I can't pronounce. Linguine ai gamberi. So it's shrimp pasta.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
The patrons of the 14th Regional Investment and Capital Market Conference have gotten the opportunity to sit back a little and unwind as the annual networking session takes place. Business Access TV is here to bring you some of the highlights.
I just want to take this time out to introduce our Managing Director, Mrs. Street Forest, the lovely. She's going to come forward and give us just a few words on what has been happening, and of course to continue to, tell us that we need to enjoy ourselves tonight, because yes, we're talking business, we're talking about investment, we're talking about building a better nation, a better region, a better world. But Mrs. Street Forest, please come and grace the microphone. Thank you, ma'am. Looking lovely as usual. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Let me extend a warm welcome to you again at this function. I am really going to be very short, because what I want to really do is to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for supporting us for the last 14 years. There are persons here who are new to the event, some who have been with us for the last 14 years. I cannot stop by. I have to continue to thank our sponsors, our participants, and all the persons who have made this possible for us. As the evening wears on, I just want you to enjoy yourself, let your hair down, and ensure that we do what we need to do in terms of networking, meeting new people from all over the globe, and just enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Well, my name is Orlando Soto. I'm the CEO of Acobo Broker Dealer from Costa Rica. We're looking to list a mutual fund, real estate, in the Jamaican Stock Exchange. This is my first time at this event. I really congratulate you guys for the 15th anniversary, and also for the spirit that the event has over people, over companies that wanted to be listed on the exchange. And in general, to the CEO, she's wonderful. I think you have a gold mine in Jamaica, and for many years to come, and good progress to Jamaican companies.
So separate and apart from the Jamaican market being the best stock market in the world, what led you to thinking about listing in Jamaica?
Well, besides that, Jamaican broker dealers, good partnerships with them. They're good people, very sophisticated. I found very good partners. Very interesting market, not only because of the market, but also because of the people.
Which stock exchange is the best performing stock exchange for 2018?
Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Is she correct? Oh my goodness, you are correct. We have to thank every single member of the stock exchange because we could not do it without you. Thanks for being the best performing stock exchange in the world.
So how was 2018 for your business?
Well, 2018 for my business was good. We decided to come to Jamaica because Jamaica imports about $1 billion a year in produce to service their resort community. I live in Las Vegas. Las Vegas imports about $2 billion a year of produce from California and Mexico. So we decided to come down here and grow produce and service the resort community. The investment conference has been great. Met a lot of people that I already have known and then was able to meet some people that I hadn't known. So it's been very, very beneficial.
Is it your first year here?
No, I've lived between Montego Bay and Kingston for about 7 years and moved back to the States in 2004, and I'm back now.
So what can we expect from your business for 2019?
You can expect us to launch in 2019 and grow produce, supply resorts, and expand and continue to grow.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7 or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Man shoulder for your friend. In a chain bling bling. Bad mind is a sin. Unity we are dancers for live good than another. If you fight that, me picking out the feather. Don't bad mind, my brother, when him a go up the leather. Money man up, go get the cheddar. If you not like that, hold them there, hold them there, hold them there. Hold them there, pull it up.
How have you been enjoying this evening's proceedings?
God, it has been fabulous. I've been having some wonderful opportunities to network. Just congratulating Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest on the amazing job that she's been doing with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, how she's effectively led the team, you know, just pulling out the best out of the people that she has around her, and how she's been, you know, managed to keep the stock exchange on top, and just getting to know some other persons, some other players in the market, like Carlos from NASDAQ, and many other persons are here tonight.
So have you been at the conference overall?
Oh yes, I came here yesterday. I was here all day today, and tomorrow I'll be on. I'll be speaking in the afternoon, and I'll be here all day as well. It's a staple event for me. Like every year, I look forward to it. I mean, of the 14 years, I think I may have done 10 out of the 14 years. Yeah.
So you can basically say that this is certainly something that you have done in your calendar for every year.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. It has to be. Like, it's one of those events that get you started for the year. And, you know, you get to meet some of the people that you will need to help you to win all the plans that you have. So you identify all the persons who are there and say, yeah, you know what, let's partner, let's connect. So, yeah.
Do you have a business?
Oh, yes. So my original business is Pato Apparel, but I have formed out since then the Entrepreneurial You, which is a leadership and entrepreneurial brand. So we have a podcast, the Entrepreneurial You podcast, where I interview people like Seth Godin, Richard Branson, and so much more. And then there's LeaderCast, LeaderCast Kingston, LeaderCast Women, and LeaderCast Kingston is happening May 10 this year. So look out for it.
All right, so tell us, how have you been enjoying this evening's function?
It has been absolutely amazing. The vibe is nice, the food is good, and just to be at a function where it's rigorous, it's talking about figures all day, but just to let your hair down and just enjoy yourself and interact with the visitors from all over the world that's here to experience the stock exchange function this year.
Is it your first year here?
Yes, it's my first year, and I'm having a great time.
What brought you here?
Well, I wanted to see the launch of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange because as an entrepreneur in the social enterprise space, it has been long anticipated and long fought for to see a social stock exchange. And I have friends like DEFCON and Alpha who were part of that, so I really wanted to see the launch.
Certainly a good opportunity for social projects to get funding, and funding an issue for social projects generally in Jamaica?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just wanted to note that in terms of the understanding of what social enterprise is, there has been a lacking because social enterprise, they don't only serve a social cause, but they're also enterprising, as the term says. So they make their own money, and when funds are invested in social enterprises, it's to make further social impact and to find other ways to be enterprising and make more money. So it's amazing that Jamaica has woken up and have smelled the coffee, because there are social stock exchanges in other parts of the world. And I think with this focus, then we can look at being number one more year. So just like 2015 and now 2018, and now we're looking at social value. So I think we have woken up, we have smelled the coffee, and the best is yet to come for the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Always be sunshine when I look at you. Just a thing I can't explain. Just the things that you do. And if you get lonely, just call me and take a second to give to me that magic you make. And every day, love me your own special way. Melt all my heart away with a smile. Take time to tell me you really care, and we'll share tomorrows forever. I'll always love you forever.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Okay, what year did the Jamaica Pegasus first host the conference? That is the investment conference. You tell me.
I'm going to go with 2010.
You are absolutely right. Please to take this box from my hand because it's so heavy. On a clapping.
So with me is a good friend of mine, Kamario Davis. How are you, sir?
I am good. How's it going?
It's been going well for me, but how's it been going for you? You enjoying this evening's function?
I am. It's really good. You know, anything Jamaican is always enjoyable. I just said it's really enjoyable. I mean, really enjoying myself tonight.
What does Jamaica being the best stock market mean to you?
It means investment. It means more money in pocket for me. It means more money in pocket for the Jamaican people.
But as a young person, though, do you think young people generally should be concerned about stocks and stock market performance, that kind of thing? Is that important?
In all honesty, I do think that they need to play a part in stock exchange because it is highly important as it relates to you creating a job for yourself. So generating income as a young person is very important. And so I think that young people really need to focus on the stock market to make some money.
Especially being that the youth unemployment rate is, though it's trending downward, it's still particularly high. So it's something that you think they should definitely look into, correct?
Most definitely, most definitely. We always want to venture into the traditional careers. We want to be doctors, lawyers, teachers, whatever the sort. But we need to start thinking about how to create employment for ourselves. Why not invest on the stock market? Why not invest into Walmart? Why not invest in Jamaica Boilers, Sagicor, whatever it is that you feel you need to invest in. It's a really good opportunity, and I think young people of Jamaica need to start focusing there.
Hey, me say me love you like a free Wi-Fi. Me and you together like a pizza and rice. Without you, me can't sleep at night. Cause me fi be your husband, you fi be my wife. Why? Me say me love you like a free Wi-Fi. Me and you together like a pizza and rice. Why? Without you, me can't sleep at night. Promise you would never leave my side. Me no need no password to get no access. Anytime you come around, instantly you connect like Wi-Fi pan. One of me gadget and you full of energy like a Magnum tonic wine. Me fascinated by everything you do. Looking at me future, girl, I me see you too. To the altar, me ready figure bring you go. The ratings you're taller than a pinnacle.
So, Mrs. Street Forest, 14 years of celebration of knowledge exchange. How has it been for you this year?
It has been fantastic. You recognize that it has been really wonderful with the participants, the sponsors, and really those persons who have presented. We've had all the prime ministers of Barbados, prime ministers of Jamaica, past prime ministers, and they have given us quite a bit to think about. And what they have also given us is some amount of ingredients to go forward and do better. So I think that now we are poised to put in the necessary provisions in order to grow the capital market further than it is.
Historic launch this year, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. Tell us about how the environment is feeling about that, how persons are reacting to that.
Persons are reacting positively to it. Persons who want to give have called. Persons who want to list projects have also called. It has been so positive. Persons have asked exactly what this is, and we are going to have to explain it and explain it again. But we have no problem with that because we know that the social stock exchange will contribute to the growth and development of the third sector, the social sector. And we know that this growth is going to be positive for the entire Jamaica.
So finally, what can we expect for the 15th staging?
Well, the 15th staging, we should really allow the 14th to be finished. But we know that the 15th staging each year, we get better and better. And the 15th staging, we want to embrace more of the region. We want to embrace more of the world. And definitely, as we do with each year, we say what has been achieved from the past. And naturally, for the 15th staging, we will want to report back to you to say, look, we have gained and garnered this amount of funds for the social exchange, and this is what it has done for Jamaica. So we want to report back to you the success that we have had for the 14th.
Certainly looking forward to it, and we hope that then Jamaica will still be the top stock exchange in the world. Thank you so much, Mrs. Street Forest.
You're most welcome.
We've come to the end of the 14th staging of the Regional Investment and Market Capital Conference's networking session. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
Wealth Magazine is back at it again with Corporate Mingle. Today we're here at the Reggae Mill Bar, where executives, creatives, entrepreneurs are here to mix and mingle. I'm your host, Amita Pasadwe. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Thank you to the team from Wealth, and thank you for you being here. We're here to introduce you to the newest way to deal with Western Union. This is the way of the future. This is how you will be handling your Western Union business going forward. It's called westernunion.com.
Grace Kennedy Money Services is in partnership with CME today here at Corporate Mingle. Talk to me about that.
So, Grace Kennedy Money Services is the home of Western Union, Bill Express, FX Trader. Today we're here with CME because we have an exciting new product to push, and this is the ideal target audience or corporates. Because you know what? Corporate people, they're always on the go, they're always moving, they don't have time sometimes to just get to a Western Union location to do their business. So we have a platform where they can stay wherever they are as long as they have an internet connection and they can send a money transfer. That's why we're here, we're pushing that. So woo.com is the name of the website, and it allows you to send a money transfer to anywhere in Jamaica or to 200 countries across the world. Wherever a Western Union location is, you can send a money transfer. You need to send some money, you need to send it fast. Register, go on woo.com, send it. All you have, the only money you spent is that money that you're trying to send. That's it. No credit card fees, no processing fees, no transfer fees, nothing. Zero. And you have to be registered. It's a registered service. Part of registration that you have to do, you start online. But you have to satisfy our own Jamaican regulations, Bank of Jamaica regulations, you have to go into a location with your ID that you registered with to validate. And that's it. All we need to do is to be able to see your ID, see you, and know that you are who this ID is. That's it. Once you've been validated, you never have to go back into a location to receive money ever again.
It's Corporate Mingle Networking with a purpose. We're here today at the Reggae Mill Bar. Talk to us about what's happening.
All right, so this is our fourth staging of the corporate mingle, and this is the first time actually coming to this location. We have a mixed crowd because we have Bumblebee as a sponsor. We have Grace Kennedy, Western Union, Business Access TV, and of course Adam and Eve Day Spa. So we have a very mixed crowd. We have mature, younger persons here. It's always a new venue, so we can try something new so persons don't get used to the same venue and it's always here again. It's always a new place, preferably somewhere hip, as you see Reggae Mill is where all the festivities happening now for the young people. We have different networking games. We have our wonderful host, as usual, Amisa. So we try to keep it interactive, get persons involved, talking to each other, mingling, networking. Of course, drinks flowing, so people flowing, conversations flowing.
So talk to us a little bit in regards to what exactly it is that Bumblebee does.
So Bumblebee is a digital media agency, so we look at what is, we can consider traditional digital media, which is the Facebook and the Instagram and the Twitter and Google, of course, but we are also into programmatic, and definitely the leading thing product that we offer is Wi-Fi advertising, which is new to Jamaica. So we are partners with Gross Tech, and they are committed to making Wi-Fi like oxygen. So we are committed to helping brands build brand loyalty by helping to make Wi-Fi like oxygen, by partnering and sponsoring that Wi-Fi. So we're the leaders in that regard. We have amazing click-through rates, which is above every other digital platform that is currently here. So we are seeing click-through rates of between 10 and 30% and lead generations of over 30%, which is not heard of in the region. So this is really something big that brands can and should get into.
I've been here for a very long time. We've been building our product for the past 3 years, and I've been coming here, building networks, building my social network. So this is not my first time, I've been here.
Tell me about your business, Intranet Solutions.
Intranet Solutions, we offer social Wi-Fi to businesses. So instead of persons signing in with a passcode, they use their social media handles. So they use Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever handle is there at the time. Once persons sign in, companies get their demographic information because they would have approved and allowed for you to get that information. So it's a way to build on your marketing list and a way to improve your business overall.
Talk to me about O'Shane Bryant Fitness.
All right, so O'Shane Bryant Fitness, we don't have a fixed location. We're predominantly at UEMONA campus, but of course we're a fitness entity that's geared towards giving Jamaica the most affordable health and fitness lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and not a fat thing.
Well, it's my second time coming to a mingle. I'm really enjoying it. Perfect place to mingle, to get your business out there and learn about your peers and what's going on.
It's that time where we bid you farewell. Thank you for tuning in to Business Access TV and our coverage of Corporate Mingle here at the Reggae Mill Bar. I've been your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hello, my name is Blake, and with my wife Tishai, a year and a half ago, we established Def Can Coffee. We are a not-for-profit social enterprise aimed at engaging, equipping, and empowering deaf youth. So Def Can Coffee started by just taking our students on a field trip to meet Clark, who is a deaf coffee farmer from St. Elizabeth. And Clark, if you meet him, you'll never forget him because he's a character. And he is 78 years old, has grown and roasted coffee on a little farm in St. Elizabeth his whole life. As a family friend of my wife's who grew up around Clark, we decided, hey, let's take our kids to Clark's farm in St. Elizabeth, let them meet him, and just see if they wanted to learn more about coffee. Because at that time, we just wanted to expose our kids to a role model of somebody who's doing something as a deaf person. Well, the kids got so excited about coffee, they came back to Kingston and said, hey, can we roast coffee like Clark? We said, hey, we can try that. And so we got this little tabletop roaster that roasts a half pound of coffee at a time. We got some green coffee from Clark, and we started roasting. And pretty soon the boys say, well, can we taste this coffee too? We say, sure. So we got a Mr. Coffee machine that was collecting dust on the shelf, cleaned it up, and they started brewing coffee. And then people would come by and they'd say, hey, you want to taste our coffee? People would say, yeah. So they taste it and be like, wow, this is really good. And it's like, yeah, it's fresh roasted coffee. It's got to be good. And then people say, well, can we pay you for this cup of coffee? And we say, okay. And it just really organically grew because the boys were doing everything as a group. As they started selling coffee to customers, their smiles got a little bit bigger, they started getting pride, and they felt affirmed. They had positive attitudes about themselves. About a year ago in March, we decided actually to not just roast coffee, but to start a small coffee shop here at the school campus. After 3 months of running it here at the school, we said, this has potential to actually employ people. This has potential to go beyond just the walls of this campus. And so in July of last year, we actually registered Def Can Coffee as a business name and started the formal process of developing ourselves as a legal entity. The name Def Can Coffee, when I look back on it, I just have to say, God knew what we needed. We never really had a lot of discussion. We never did a whole lot of thinking about what the name was going to be. So we just talked to the boys group, the boys Bible study group that this all started from. We said, what do you guys want the world to know? What is your message that's going to be the core of your being moving forward? And they said, we want people to know that we can. And we just kind of wrote out on the board, Def Can Coffee. It wasn't until a few months later that we actually registered the name when we felt like, yeah, this is the right thing to move forward with. But it just kind of happened because the boys, that's the message that they want to share with the world, is that they can do anything. And so Def Can Coffee was the resulting name. When we started, we had no idea that we were going to have a business. It started as just like a kind of a project to get the kids a little bit more excited and to have more confidence. We started with just roasting coffee, and so we were bagging it and selling it. And then from there, we started doing espresso-based drinks and lattes, cappuccinos. And then some people said, well, you know, it's already hot here. Some people are going to want cold drinks. We said, yeah, absolutely. So the boys saved up their own money and bought a blender and started doing frappuccinos. And then somebody said, well, let's blend up some fruit. So they started doing fruit smoothies. And then somebody said, well, we want to do a milkshake. So they started making milkshakes. They're working now on kind of a roots drink using vegetables and fruits and blending those up to make a really healthy drink. This is Nitro cold coffee. What we have is a keg, and inside of it is cold brew coffee. I think we're the only people in Jamaica that are doing nitro cold brew coffee, which is cold brew coffee put into a keg, pressurized with nitrogen, and then the nitrogen gas infuses with the coffee, and it's served on tap. So we compare it to Guinness and tell people we have Guinness coffee. Tastes like creamers in the coffee. It's delicious. This is entrepreneurial and business education. And so grades 9, 10, 11 students came with their own recipe, and they bottled cold coffee and added vanilla flavoring to it. So it's an energy drink that's bottled, and you can just grab it and go. We do kind of anything coffee, whether it's hot or cold. Anybody could come here and get something they want. We've had multiple people who are coffee connoisseurs who have come in here and said that this is the best coffee they've ever had in Jamaica. We've also had people that come in here and say, coffee? I don't want to drink coffee. Coffee's gross, you know? And so we'll serve them something else, and they'll find something that they like. So whether you're a coffee purist, or whether you want something that's sweet, or whether you want something that's just a fruit smoothie that's healthy, that is refreshing, helps you keep going, we have something for you. So really, I feel like we can match most demographics and most market segments. Our tagline that we operate by is engage, equip, empower. My wife, being a deaf Jamaican herself, has grown up where she has seen a lot of people try to help deaf people. And a lot of their approach to helping somebody is by giving them things. And then they would wait to see what the deaf person would do with it. And inevitably, nothing would happen. And the person would walk away saying, oh, the deaf person can't do it. So we started from a basic principle that our students have to be engaged and have to have ownership in it. And so we said, okay, we'll save up your money that you're earning from these coffee sales and buy better equipment. So they bought their first espresso machine, they bought their first grinder, and it continued to grow with their own participation. So that's engagement. Once they're engaged and have ownership and want it, but then they need the skills to be taught to them. So that's when we partnered with various coffee shops, and Sidecar Coffee from the US was our first critical partner, and they were willing to come down here and put on a 2-day intensive barista training workshop for our students, and 17 of our boys got certified as a level 1 barista. And from there, it just has continued to take off where as we need funding, they save up their own money. They have objectives and goals of what they want to save up for next. They save up, and then we go out and get it. When we built this training center, this was really because as we saw the growth that happened in the first 4 to 6 months of the small coffee shop, we said, there's so much opportunity here because the kids want to learn more. And so we reached out to Digicel Foundation here locally and said, we have this vision and this dream of having a cafe training center. And they came and did a site visit and loved what we were doing and came alongside of us. Digicel Foundation gave us a $3.5 million grant to build the space that we're in right now. We also received funding locally from Harvest Call Jamaica, which is the not-for-profit that my wife and I operate here in Jamaica that does things outside of just the deaf schools. We also work with children's homes and infirmaries and hospitals, but we also got $10,000 US grant from them to build this training center. But my wife does not want us to go looking around for a lot of donations and freebies because the kids need to have ownership of it. They need to feel involved in that it's part of their business. The business part of it, where we actually go mobile and have a business that caters to the public, is something that's really self-sustaining. We don't want to look for a lot of outside fundings for that because we want them to feel that it's theirs. We are making a profit. Again, because we've been operating within a school setting and students, and it's basically training for them, there's not wages or salaries. We're not paying full-time workers. So we don't have some of the overhead that a traditional business would have. Or as we grow and go out into the public, we will eventually have one day. We don't really have opening public hours. We don't want just random people coming off the street and coming here because we have children and we have to make sure that our children are taken care of and that they're protected. So we can't just have really strangers coming in. But we do have people that keep hearing about us and they show up at the gate. And if we're here, we'll gladly open up and serve them. But moving forward, we'd like to have a public space where then the general public can just go there to an offsite location. One of our goals at the very beginning was to create community, because that's really one of the things that our deaf youth lack in their life is community, that they really feel a sense of belonging to. So from the very beginning, we wanted to nurture that and make sure that we protected it and make sure that the boys that this started with, that it was theirs to run. But as it grew, deaf as adults started hearing about what we were doing. And so we started getting interest from outside people saying, hey, I've heard about Deaf Can Coffee, I'm deaf, can I get involved? And so we're not actively out there seeking people, they're coming to us, and through that we're able to kind of filter through the people that really want to learn and versus the people that are just kind of discontent with life and want something easy. Because one of the key principles that the boys understand is that you have to work hard. Business takes hard work, and you have to be committed to it, and you have to work together as a team. Through that, we've developed Carlisle and Fabian as a manager and assistant manager, where they're really the leaders moving forward, and they know who to contact if we need somebody else. We have deaf culture already in existence, which has its own set of norms and values, and we incorporate those fully into the business. And so things have to be visually friendly, things have to be spatial. In our training center here, everything's open. And so there's not a way, so we can have a group of kids that are in a circle or a semicircle where everything is visual. Everyone can see everybody and they can communicate clearly. So everything we do is kind of in a semicircle and open. And that's a cultural value from deaf culture. But then within the business culture, we're creating very much an emphasis on interdependence. First, we're very dependent on others. As a child growing up, we're very dependent. As we get into being teen years, we want to be very independent. We don't want anybody to tell us to do anything. As you become an adult, you realize you have to be both. You have to be dependent and independent, and that's interdependence. Don't you just focus on an area that you're really good at and try to become the best. Try to raise up the level of your peers too. And so through that, they're working together. And that's really what we want to embody in our culture, is a body that it's all about the team. And if one person fails, then we all fail. The concept of entrepreneurialism is something that our students didn't have a real strong grasp of before we started this. But as they've grown their own business, they're starting to realize what being an entrepreneur is all about. Mostly it's about learning. And a lot of the things that they've learned the most is that you have to take risks. And you have to be calculated, you can't be foolish, but you have to try something. And so we are seeing more creative thoughts coming out of them in ways that we never really anticipated. We're seeing artistic sides of our students come out when they're thinking about marketing. They're saying, okay, how can we make this more visually appealing? And so we actually had students design by hand sketch a new logo for our cold coffee bottled energy drink. So one of our deaf students drew that, and then we sent it to Justin Forbes, who's a deaf graphic artist here in Kingston, and he developed the logo more fully for them that's digital that we print today. So in a lot of different ways, entrepreneurialism is starting to affect the way that they think, and starting to realize that inside of every one of us, we have creative capabilities and ideas that just have to be tapped into.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
We believe that DEFCAN can really go anywhere. And when you ask some of our boys, they're going to say, we're not just thinking about Jamaica, we're thinking about DEFCAN coffee being all over the world. And one of the reasons for that is because 90% of the coffee in the world is grown in third world and developing countries. In third world and developing countries, you're by default going to have less governmental program, less intervention, and lower education standards for deaf people. And so you can literally go into a coffee-producing country where there's already going to be a disenfranchised, at-risk deaf community. And you can go in and you can get them engaged in that. And once it's a deaf person that's going in and training and teaching, deaf people by nature will just flock to it. And so the deaf community throughout the world does not share the same language, but they share the same cultural values. And so our guys could literally go to another country and walk around with a DEFCAN coffee sign anywhere where there's a deaf community, and people will come and want to know more. And you can engage people through that. And once they're engaged and want it, then you can equip them with the skills necessary to run it. And once you have a person engaged and equipped, that leads to empowerment. And so our boys have dreams and visions of being beyond just Jamaica. And that's something that I absolutely believe can happen. I think there are a few things that are critical for an entrepreneur. First, you have to believe in something. If you don't believe in it, there's no way that you're going to be able to convince and convey to your customer that it's worth their time or their resources to buy your product or service. And so it has to be something that you're passionate about. You also have to have a vision of where you want to go and allow that to guide your decision making. So here for us at Deaf Can Coffee, our vision is to have a deaf community and deaf youth who are empowered. And so every decision we make is, do we believe that this decision will lead to our youth becoming more empowered, or will this become a distraction? Besides kind of the theoretical vision things, you have to put in a lot of hard work. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. You have to be willing to take risks and learn. Every time you make a mistake, it's a phenomenal opportunity to learn something, and you'll never make that mistake again. Unless you don't want to view it as a learning experience, you want to be frustrated by a mistake, then you'll end up making that same mistake again. Success for us is not defined by what margin we're making, how profitable we are. We believe that if our students are getting the skills necessary and the self-esteem and confidence necessary to perform, that will all take care of itself. I think for my wife and I, our biggest fear is that somehow through a failure to guide this social enterprise properly, that we could actually end up convincing people that deaf can't. So what I mean by that is, and some of the experiences that we've learned from by making mistakes, say we have the opportunity to open up our own shop somewhere, and we say, all right, yes, let's do it, but we're not ready to do it. If we open up our own shop and have our own storefront and everything, but we're not actually to the point where we're mature enough as a business to handle that, and it fails, everybody that walked through those doors and saw it close are going to look at it and say, oh, deaf can't. And so we've been very careful about how we grow the business. We've used the analogy with the students of as a child grows, they grow from an infant to a toddler to an adult. And as an infant, you learn to crawl, and as a toddler you learn to walk, and as an adult you learn to run. So we use that analogy with them and say, hey, we're still crawling and we're still walking here, we're not quite ready to run. Because if we don't manage that properly and allow it to grow sustainably, people are gonna realize that deaf can't. And that's the antithesis of what we want people to believe. We want everything we do to affirm that deaf can. What motivates me is people like Clark, the man that started this, people like my wife, who are, through their lives, proving to people and demonstrating that deaf can, that literally deaf can do anything, and that there are some ways that deaf can do things better. I get excited when somebody comes in here and says, wow, this is the best espresso I've had in Jamaica. And you see our guys, smile and stand up straight, and they're proud of themselves. That's what motivates me. Those moments where somebody comes in and says, wow, deaf can. And then the response of our guys that say, yeah, we know. And as that confidence within them grows, they're starting to believe in other things they can do outside of coffee. And they're getting more confidence, and their own creative talents are starting to bubble to the surface. And we've realized that as we go and share this message, some of our boys are phenomenal with crowds. They're great with an audience. An audience will be sitting out there, and they'll be telling them a story, and their expressions that come through their facial expression and their body language just captivates people. And realize this person could be on stage, they could do anything. And those moments where the general public gets it, where they say, wow, deaf can, and those moments where our youth say, yeah, we know, that's what motivates me. I live for those moments where people just get it and they say, wow, I want some more of this. When you just can't go to sleep at night. When you're dead tired, you're completely spent, and you lay your head down, an idea pops up. And then your brain starts going again, and you just can't turn it off. So you're up at 2 in the morning, typing something out, or emailing somebody with something you want to tell. And just those are the moments where you're like, wish I didn't have this thing on my mind. And then you say, well, if I didn't have that, would life be as exciting as it is? And so learn to embrace those moments of inspiration, and to realize that those moments where you wish you could just turn off your brain but it's still going are actually some of the greatest moments to really just focus, get the clutter out of your mind, and sit and just put things on paper, get them out and think about them. But I love the interaction that we have with different people that Deaf Can Coffee is attracting. Literally attracting people from all over. We've had people from all over the world that have heard about us and have come to see it. They may not be flying to Jamaica specifically for it, but they hear about it and they want to come see it while they're visiting. And then to have local Jamaicans that have come here and to realize, wow, the deaf community has a lot to offer. And so what we're hoping is that through this, other employers will come and see what the kids are doing. They'll see the commercials they're making. They'll see, the cakes they're baking and say, hey, I have a job for you. You can come work for me, because we're not really all about just trying to create this massive Def Can Coffee organization. I believe that because we are addressing a root issue in the lives of vulnerable people, that's God's heart. God's heart is for the vulnerable. He's for the oppressed. He's not about the people who think they have everything in life. And I think that as we have very carefully tried to address the true lack that's experienced in the lives of our kids, that God is blessing that, and He's growing it to allow us to fill up their cups so that our kids lack nothing anymore. They don't lack the confidence, they don't lack the skills necessary, they don't lack the opportunities in life to really grow themselves and use the gifts that He's given them.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
As we traveled around now, going through different places, then Digicel Foundation heard about us, and we showed proof to them that we could do it, that Def can. Digicel Foundation was so impressed by what they did, they gave us a grant to build the training center. And so now, as you saw over there, we have a new silver espresso machine that's really powerful. We're really happy for what we have. Our goal is to continue to grow our business. I think probably the most satisfying experience that I've had so far has actually had nothing to do with a cup of coffee. It's when I've seen my boys, our young men, stand in front of a group and professionally and powerfully explain the story of what's happened with Def Can Coffee. And when people in an audience, you see just a little bit of water get in their eyes and just a little bit trickle down because they're so touched. Because our boys are developing the confidence that their natural gifting and talent is starting to bubble out to the surface, and people are seeing that. And there's nothing more satisfying than seeing somebody that really hears the message of Def Can and can believe it with all their heart. Some of my favorite things to do are to get out of Kingston and go to St. Elizabeth. Where my wife is from is an area called Top Hill, St. Elizabeth, and it's the most beautiful place on earth, in my opinion. And so we'd love to go out there, just hang out. Love to go down to Treasure Beach and swim and hang out, enjoy the country life. Being an entrepreneur is full of sacrifice. There are times where you sacrifice relationships, but you have to balance that, because if at the end of the day you have a successful business but fail in relationships, then the business has no merit at the end. So there's a balance there. You sacrifice a lot of time. You sacrifice financially. There are times where you have to contribute to help the business grow and to take care of something that is just kind of out of scope but needs to get done. You sacrifice with other things in life that you like to do, maybe hobbies that you had before. Sometimes you don't have as much. I think my dog suffers sometimes. I don't spend as much time with her as I'd like to. We have some exciting opportunities coming up. Nothing is set in stone yet, but we're very possibly going to be opening up a full-time cafe or a coffee shop inside of another cafe. It's not named yet. They haven't decided on their branding yet. It'll be on Hope Road, and it will be their own cafe where we would be the coffee service. So they would be doing food, bistro kind of stuff, and we would be providing the coffee service. So that's one opportunity. We've also had a couple other organizations that have reached out to us and said, hey, we'd be interested, in maybe you running a coffee shop inside of our business at some point down the road. But nothing is set in stone. So right now we're focused internally, using our new training center that we have here, thanks to the Digicel Foundation, and working with them. Also, JN Foundation has reached out to us. They have a social enterprise booster initiative called SEBI, which we're in the process of applying to become a part of it. And then they would really walk alongside of us and help us develop some of the internal mechanisms that we need to give us a foundation where the business can grow. Def Can Coffee encouraged a group of our students who are grades 9 and 11 to join Junior Achievement. It's boys and girls both together. And through that Junior Achievement program, they came up with a vanilla cold coffee energy drink that's in a bottle. And this is what it looks like. as we've grown, we've said, all right, we want to create a message about this, and so reach out to somebody that can help us. But then, as much as possible, we bring that internally. So we created a message for the National Inclusive Education Conference that happened last November in Montego Bay, and we developed kind of a framework for the message. But then the students kind of decide what they wanted to portray through that poster, and that poster was all about comparing a negative view of a deaf person that says deaf can't with a positive view of a deaf person that says deaf can. And that was really powerful. We've used that one medium in a lot of different ways. As we go travel mobile, we'll put that poster up on the table and allow people to come by and read it, because just by the interaction they have with the baristas, they're not going to get the full depth of the story, but then the story's right there in print form where people can read it and understand what we're all about. But we've honestly, in some ways, tried to hold back on some marketing, because again, we're struggling with this balance of we're on the campus of a deaf school. We can't just have too many people coming in and ruining what we're trying to do with the kids, because that has to be the primary focus. But as we go mobile, as we go out into the public, we're working on developing different marketing tools. But our website is phenomenal, and it's developed by one of our deaf students. He's a graduate of our school. He's now studying computer science at Rochester Institute of Technology in New York, and he's a computer science major. So he developed our website for us, runs it from abroad. He's actually going to come back this summer to do an internship for us to develop some more online based tools. But we're all on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is at Deaf Can Coffee. And so we're pretty streamlined as far as that. When people want to know how to contact us, it's Deaf Can Coffee. Just Google Deaf Can Coffee, and our email address is defcancoffee@gmail.com. Our website's defcancoffee.com, and then all our social media is there. So online has probably been our most successful mode of marketing as far as reaching out with our message to customers. And that was, probably a year ago when we realized this has viable potential business. That was one of our initial strategies, is go public, go to where the people are at instead of worrying about trying to attract people here. And then the second thing is partner with people. Any press is good press, and so we've had the opportunity to get several print media opportunities where they've written stories about us in the Gleaner and Observer. We've been on TVJ, we've been on several radio stations. We're now on Business Access TV, which we're really thankful and excited for this opportunity. If you're a young person or a person that has a desire to be an entrepreneur, you have an idea that you want to try, then I encourage you to go for it. But you have to understand a few things first. You have to be very committed to it, and you have to believe that what you want to do is going to make the world a better place. If you don't believe it makes the world a better place, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to sell it to your customers and to whoever you want to reach. And you have to really believe in that. And if you don't believe in it, then you're going to run out of the energy, because there are times where you feel like, I want to give up. I don't want to do this. It's too hard. It's too impossible. And if you don't believe it makes the world a better place, then you're going to say it's not worth it. But if you look at some of the greatest businesses the world has ever known, it started with somebody that said, I believe my idea can make this world a better place. And when you start with that premise, if you believe that, then there should be nothing that stops you. And then my other encouragement is that as you go, don't try to do it alone. Reach out to people and partner with people that can help you. If you're selfish, if you try to keep it for yourself and say, no, I want to hang on to this, you're not going to allow your hands to open up to allow it to grow and to fly. And so you have to be willing to open up yourself to other people and say, hey, I want to work with you, and I want to see how we can work together. And then the third thing is that you have to get the right people around you. If you have somebody that is inside that is toxic, that's cancerous to your organization, no matter how talented they are, no matter how many gifts they have, if that person is not matching the team, if they're becoming more about themselves than the team, you have to be willing to stand up and say, hey, you know what? We can't have this part of our team. And so you have to be willing to sometimes do the tough work, and you have to be willing to say no. When opportunities come that aren't really suiting your business model or your vision, you have to be willing to say no. And as an entrepreneur, you'll have a hard time sometimes saying no, but you really have to be willing to stand firm and say no. And then the last thing I would say is have a business plan. And if you don't know what a business plan is and don't know how to write it, reach out, because there are lots of people that are willing to sit down and offer advice and help you work through some of those components that maybe you haven't thought of.
According to Barbara Blake Hanna, director of the Jamaica International Film Festival, people come to Jamaica to make films simply and primarily because Jamaica is world famous as a place where the culture, music, scenery, and history provide multiple opportunities for films of all kinds to be made. With movies like Harder They Come, Rockers, Dancehall Queen, and many more, the Jamaican film industry has what it takes to become one of the premier destinations for film production. But what is really happening? We will chit-chat with 3 filmmakers positioning themselves for success. Storm Salter, a graduate of the Los Angeles Film School, released his debut feature, the award-winning film Better Must Come, in 2011. The actor, writer, and director is now the filmmaker in residence for the academic year of 2014 to 2015 at the University of the West Indies. Your award-winning debut film, Better Must Come, was well received. Tell us about the process that brought it to life.
I was just very fascinated with the 1970s. Very interested in like Cold War and geopolitics, that type of thing. And in my research on that globally, I kind of really discovered what happened in Jamaica in the 70s, in the even 60s leading up to that. And I realized it was something I never learned in school, something that they don't teach kids, our recent post-colonial history, which is the reason we are formed as a nation as we are. They don't teach that. So I'm like, well, we need to find a way to step into this world. And if nothing else, you know, my Better Must Come is about a single character or group of characters in a particular story, in a particular time, in a particular community in the late 1970s. But what it is, and I think, is a window in or foot into the door of what that is. And now you can jump onto YouTube or look at documentaries, look at, you know, and start to learn about our own recent history, you know, which is very relevant to understanding who we are right now.
You were the film's director, screenwriter, and director of photography. Why so many roles?
That's just the way I guess I create so far. I wrote the screenplay because it didn't exist yet, and I had to write it. And sometimes you end up becoming a writer, not because it's your natural approach, but because you need a story. You know what I mean? And but I'm a cinematographer and I'm a director, and those are two things I always do together. They're kind of inseparable for me.
Was Better Must Come your project with the biggest budget?
Feature films just require a lot to get made, even when you're doing it very inexpensively and very guerrilla and very low budget. You're moving, you have a lot of people, you have a lot of manpower, you have a lot of, and woman power too. You have a lot of moving parts, time, editing, costuming, feeding people, you know what I mean, promoting the work. So, I mean, it's quite an undertaking.
How was Better Must Come financed?
Better Must Come had an executive producer, a set of executive producers, investors. Was very fortunate to create a story and then have people that basically, on reading it and on knowing it and on believing in my ability, saying yes, let's finance this and do it. So yeah, I had an investor that pretty much raised the funding to do it. But then on the other end, I did a film along with the New Caribbean Cinema Collective. We did a film together called Ring the Alarm, which was a collection of short stories by all the different directors. And those, we put them together as a feature film. So in the end, it was presented as a feature film. But we made it in a way that was very low budget. All the individual pieces were shot in a single day, and it cost us way less, and we basically paid out of our own pockets, you know what I mean? And that was a feature film that was made for maybe, I don't know, 12,000 US.
Describe the filmmaking process, or at least the way you go about doing it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm sometimes, I don't, thank God when you have good producers and like good crews, because they are able to create the structure around which you as the like creative voice can exist. So I don't like too much. I don't like a lot of the technical and organizational duties of like what it takes to put a production together. I like to just be creative all the time if I could. I like to think about the shots, I like to shoot, I like to design the cinematography, I like to think about the story, I like to work with actors, I like to just vibe and be in a zone and find myself in a creative space so I can make the right decisions at the moment when the work is being captured to create great work. You know, filmmaking is not a singular thing. I mean, the director is like the captain of the ship and kind of the one responsible for the overall creative delivery of the thing. But at the end of the day, you need a really good team of people. I mean, the better your team is, the better the work.
How do you choose your team of people?
I just always continue to work with people that I like working with, that do well on set.
Should a filmmaker be formally trained?
Look, filmmakers have to be trained one way or the other, whether it is in film school or by taking workshops or taking a course, or not, and just by working on set and working from the basic job of maybe being a production assistant and watching how it's done, and then having working under someone, because one way or the other, even when you go to film school and leave and get onto set, you still start your education right there again. So it doesn't have to happen. I've worked with great filmmakers that have not had formal training, right? And so it's not a necessity, but you're either gonna try and fail and try again and fail and learn that way. I mean, one way or the other, great filmmakers, people making good work, they get there by some form of training.
Should more be done to teach film making locally?
Yeah, definitely there should be more done, but I feel like there definitely is a lot of energy on the way to do so. I know at UWI, it's happening.
What advice would you give to newcomers who want to get into the industry?
Just, it's possible to get in there. I mean, as we said earlier, getting the camera equipment and the sound gear is not very hard. There's an abundance of technical filmmaking talent here in terms of there is great camera operators, cinematographers, directors, sound people, musicians. I mean, all the pieces are here. You just have to work on having a great idea. And with the New Caribbean Cinema model, it was very much about, with no money, how do we create something? And that model was, we created stories that were short, that could be achieved in a single day. And therefore, we could go to our peers that have a mutual vision of moving forward Caribbean cinema and say, look, let's give us a day. The actors want to be on screen. Crew is down to work. Everybody wants to play their role and create something that's as lasting as film. So, and within a day or 2 days, they'll do it for free. So we just figured out a methodology that took the money element out of it. And that's always very helpful. And I think people don't need to sit back and say, I can't do it because of the money. Okay, you can't do that idea. Don't give up on the idea that costs a lot of money to make. Just think of other ideas that are achievable now. Because you take one step towards something, it takes 2 steps towards you. And that's something very real. That's going in the positive and in the negative. You know what I'm saying? So if you just do the work, you're either going to create something great, or you're going to create something that was kind of okay, but you learn what was not right, and then you focus on that. Then when you wheel and come again, now you come again with everything more intact. You know, I had to make things that weren't as good as I thought they were to then make something that was good.
If nothing else, Jamaica should be producing more than 1 feature film every 5 years.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Wait, Rasta, what are you doing inside there? Remove ya!
Allison Harrison, a filmmaker and owner of Factory 75, a motion picture film company, had a chit-chat with us about being a local filmmaker.
I was studying math, physics, and computer science. And one day, a friend of mine invited me to a show at the Philip Sherlock Center for the Creative Arts. And I saw what was going on with the lights and the sound, and I was just like, how do you get into this? And they invited me to come by for a rehearsal. And I joined one of the societies there, the Dramatic Arts Society. And from there, it's just been, that was, I think, where all of this passion comes from. After leaving UWI, I went and I worked at the CPTC, the Creative Production and Training Center. And while there, I got exposed to cameras, lights, set life. And I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. How, like, what else is there to learn? And from CPTC, I worked there for 3 years. And then I applied to film school, and then I went away. I came back home. People are asking me why. I'm like, why are you here? You should be in New York, you should be in LA. I worked freelance in the industry with other filmmakers doing sound predominantly, sound recording. But I wanted to explore the other departments on set. I wanted to shoot, I wanted to, you know, edit and do other things. So I just decided to start doing that. And since then, Factory 75 was born. I have worked with organizations such as Virgin Unite, Virgin Holidays, the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship Caribbean, Digital Foundation. What I find is that most of my corporate work is with companies with philanthropic components to their organization. So I find, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy working with the children in the school and just recording their stories and being able to document and tell those stories. So most of my work really has been with those organizations.
Allison talks to us about the stages of production.
The idea stage, where you're fleshing it out. Then once you feel like you have a good idea, then you write a treatment, and then you write a script, depending on the project that you're doing. It could be a music video, it could be a short film, documentary, etc., etc. You have to then go ahead and write your script. And then once you have your script down and your characters, then you go ahead and you cast. After you've cast, then you rehearse with your cast, and then you plan your production and you shoot for however long. And then you go into post-production, and post-production is a whole other ball game. You have the first cut, which is just stitching it together according to the script. And then the editor and the director or producer will then sit down and rework it so that what you've shot on set, you could be telling a completely different story in post.
Producing content in Jamaica is expensive, but sometimes the investment is worth it.
If nothing else, Jamaica should be producing more than one feature film every 5 years. If anything, Jamaica should be at a place where it is building the capacity of its filmmakers and its creatives and supporting the filmmakers so much that we are pushing out films like 20 years, we are pushing out films like 5 films every month. You know, so it's we just have to make film, we just have to make sure. You have to, as you know, as I mentioned before, you have to want it. You have to want it, regardless of the setbacks and the times that people tell you no, and you just have to want it. Like at the core of anything, that's the core, that's the essence. You have to want it, and when you want it, it's amazing how things manifest itself. You know, how you are able to get around the obstacles. So you have to want it. You have to be open to criticism. You have to also be open to learning new things and learning outside of being on set, reading articles, reading books, discovering new filmmakers, researching the older ones, the ones that, you know, made film what it is. I will always reference Alfred Hitchcock. He is one of my mentors in terms of how he makes films. So I read a lot about him. But you have to, reading and research, these are things that are like mandatory. It's like you wake up and, you know, you shower, you go to work. It's supposed to be a part of your routine as a filmmaker, as a content producer. You must be reading, you must be current on what's happening, and you must know what happened before. You know, for me, it helps me to focus, because if especially the personal stories of these filmmakers, locally and internationally, you hear, you know, their stories of struggle. The struggle is real, you know, but the struggle empowers, and the struggle fuels the passion, especially for me. So I'm not saying I enjoy the struggle, I don't say that, but it is definitely fuel. It fuels me. It pushes me to go even further and further and further, and to discover new things, and to learn new things and meet new people.
Coming up next, Kurt Wright.
Characteristics that lend themselves to filmmaking is probably creativity, being open-minded, and definitely a whole lot of patience.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
I'm Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, and you're watching Business Access.
A graduate of the New York Institute of Technology, Kurt Wright is a local filmmaker who has worked on over 300 projects.
I went to school in New York for 4 years at the New York Institute of Technology. I studied communications, TV, radio, film. Graduated with a bachelor's degree in like 2000, I think, or around there. Yeah, came back home and just started working right away. Day one, second location, Port Antonio Square. Well, I've worked primarily as an assistant director since I came back, you know, whatever it was, 10 years ago. worked with a lot of really, really good people in the industry. I've been very lucky since I came back. I've gotten to work with Ras Casa, who was kind of like a mentor to me. People like Jay Will, Delano Forbes, you know, just a lot of people who had a lot of experience and I was able to learn from as I was coming up.
I'll be waiting for you, baby. Just give me that one chance.
So I've worked in everything from music videos to advertisements, feature-length movies as an assistant director, which is one of the best positions you can be in, to kind of really be next to a director and, you know, kind of learn from his eye and that sort of thing. Characteristics that lend themselves to filmmaking is probably creativity, being open-minded, and definitely a whole lot of patience. What happens a lot in the filmmaking industry is things don't always go as you planned it. So whether or not you're working on something in Jamaica that's a little low-budget thing, or you're working on something in full-blown Hollywood, people are going to be late, stuff gets painted the wrong color. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
And ready and go!
Passion is integral as well, because it is a sort of industry where a lot of things will happen and sometimes things don't work out. You know, and that's kind of life in general, but especially in the filmmaking industry, you find that things don't work out and maybe you work for months towards getting something done, and at the very last minute you realize maybe you couldn't get the funding for it, maybe your main actor dropped out, maybe the client, you know, just all sorts of stuff, you know. So if you don't have the passion for it in the first place, the passion is what keeps you going. The filmmaking process goes through 3 stages. So you have pre-production, you have production, and you have post-production. So pre-production, let's take for instance a movie, for example. Pre-production, you need the idea, script gets written, actors get casted, locations get scouted, the funding for the movie is gathered together. So it's all of the preparatory stuff that's needed in order to make the film. Production is the actual making of the film. So that's when everybody comes together, you've hired your crew, your actors are rehearsed, hopefully. You end up on set and you film everything that you need to do. And then post-production afterwards is once you've finished with the production aspect of it, that's where the footage now comes together. You give it off to the editor, colorist, that sort of thing, the sound mixer, and everything comes together at the end of the day.
So should more be done to teach film?
I don't think a filmmaker necessarily needs to be formally educated. I do believe that it can't hurt to go to school, to go to college, to learn the technical ins and outs, but at the same time, a lot of what you may end up finding from college is that you made the links to different people. So I have friends who work at NBC, I have friends who work at ABC, I have friends who work at Nickelodeon, you know, that kind of, that's not because, oh, I came out, I started working in this industry and I'm some big shot. These are people I went to school with, and we all kind of went in our separate directions with a common passion or a common goal, and we've all ended up in different places. So they might be turning around to say, you know, oh, well, I have this friend in Jamaica who's a filmmaker and we want to go and shoot something there, so let's link him. So for me, that's what college mostly was about. I did learn certain technical aspects of filmmaking, but I don't think I really started learning until I came home to Jamaica and started working in the industry. In terms of projects that I've worked on, as an assistant director, I've worked on close to 300 projects since I've been back, just over the course of the years. Everything from music videos to commercials. We've worked a lot with people like Digicel, worked with Phase 3 on a lot of stage shows at the beginning of my career. As an assistant director though, I've also worked on a few feature films. So things from Ras Casa. Ras Casa filmed 2 films years ago. One of them in Jamaica, was the assistant director on that, called Good As Gya. Then we went to Trinidad the next year and we filmed another thing called Tribes that I was also one of the assistant directors on. That was a lot of fun. More recently though, I just finished, over the past summer, finished as first AD on Nick Cannon's feature film being done out here called King of the Dancehall.
So what are some issues facing local filmmakers?
One of the key issues I think that needs to be addressed in the Jamaican industry in general is our relationship with Jampro. and the actual filmmakers in the country. The lines of communication sometimes tend to get a little bit blurred, which is also why I say I can't necessarily speak for certain things that may or may not have happened at the film festival. Because in a lot of ways, I think we feel as filmmakers that we kind of get left in the dark a little bit.
Kurt talks to us about where he would like to see the industry in 20 years.
I'd like to see Jampro and filmmakers in Jamaica having a much better relationship in 20 years. I would like to see Jamaican filmmakers able to create much more than we're creating right now. We have incredible talent in this island. We have incredible talent in this island from uptown, downtown, midtown, all over. Tons of people have ideas, tons of people are very talented, tons of people have this great creative ability, and what they need is an outlet. My advice to newcomers in the industry would, in a lot of ways, tie into a lot of the things that we've said already. Just this, the stuff is there, the information is there, it's accessible, the equipment is there. It's not always the cheapest, but you don't always need the most expensive thing either. As I said, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but if you have a good cell phone, you can film something. It may not be the best thing, and I hope it wouldn't be the best thing you ever filmed if you shot it off of a cell phone, but the fact is you can also plug a mic into your cell phone's headphone jack, and that'll work as your audio, you know? So there's ways around certain things. Google, YouTube, all of these things have information ready and willing, which is also why I don't think it's necessary to go to school straight off. But if you feel as if you can't afford to go to school, but this is an industry that you're interested in, then put in the work.
That's it this week on Cameo. Where will our film industry be in 20 years? With the continued efforts of our local filmmakers, the sky is the limit. Until next week, I've been your host, Amita Fasad Webb.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.